Yo, what's going on? Something that I felt was beneficial for you guys and some feedback that I got from the videos. I'd like to make an intro video. You may be wondering, who am I? Why am I doing this? Why am I here? What am I trying to get at by doing this? I feel like I'm a person that's gone through a lot of life's challenges, and I have a lot of stories to share and experiences. And coming from a background, I grew up the oldest of four children. My mom was single. Each of us had different dads. And it's not like, oh, it's not meant to be a sad story, you know? This is just where I come from. It is what it is, right? Our mom was always working her hardest to provide for us. She worked two, sometimes maybe three jobs. We had everything we needed, you know, the essentials, sometimes a little extra, you know, but we were blessed to have what we needed. Since I was the oldest, I grew up the man of the house, right? I was in charge of making sure my siblings, while my mom was working two, three jobs or sleeping before she had to go to the next job, I was taking care of my siblings. Basically, this meant making sure they woke up for school, making sure they got ready, they were presentable, they didn't go in like their underwear or whatever, you know what I mean? They were fed. Basically, they're staying alive. It was my responsibility to make sure that they did everything they needed to do. And after school, I had to make sure that they were doing their chores like they needed to before our mom got back. And I understand that maybe in a normal household, there's no normal, it's just how you grow up. But typically, maybe when a child comes home from school, they're welcomed by their parents with a hug. How was your day? Did you learn anything? Did you meet a new girl or boy that kind of puts butterflies in your stomach, something like this? That never happened, you know? And it's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, it's just how it happened. It is what it is, you know? Everybody's life is different. I never realized anything different because I never knew anything different. When I came home from school, if I got there before my mom and she came in afterwards, it was, hey, is this done? Is that done? Did you make sure to go and do this? Can you do this for me? Maybe a few times. I'm not saying it was never like this, but the majority of the time it wasn't, oh, honey, welcome home. How was school? How are you? Is everything going well? And I can understand the other side for my mom, that she was working. My mom was in a mentality of go, 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 go. If she's managing a store or something, then she's stuck in that mindset. I've learned as I've become an adult that it's difficult to go from when you get home from work, you have to take some time to de escalate, you know, to relax, you know, take it easy. You're not in work anymore. You don't have to be so, hey, did you do this? Did you do that? You're not in work, man. You're now here with your family, you know? Yes, logically, it makes sense, but in the moment, it can be completely different. With this, and you may feel the same, but my siblings and I never got to experience that sibling kind of relationship. It was more of like I was an authority figure, making sure that they did what they needed to do before our mom got back. It's only until fairly recently that my siblings and I have bonded, and it's amazing. You're the only person that I share my parent with. And that's amazing. Like there's no other bond like that. You don't have that connection with anybody else in the entire world. So love your siblings. They're the only person that you share a parent with. You know what I mean? And this is where conditioning really comes into play, because if you grow up learning to convey your ideas, learning to express your feelings in a certain way, that's the only way that you know how to express your feelings, because that's the way that you were taught. It should be your parents' responsibilities, the ones that brought you into this world, to teach you how to do these things. And hopefully they teach you how to do them the correct way. You know, nobody's perfect and there's no perfect set way to do things, but there are better ways to convey ideas, to express how you feel, to get someone to do something rather than commanding them. You shouldn't need to impose fear on someone to get them to do something. You can ask someone to do something for you just out of the kindness of their heart and cooperation, as we are humans, to help. But for instance, I learned, hey, did you do your homework? Did you do your chores? Have you done this? Have you done that? When are you going to do it if you haven't done it? Due to the conditioning that my mom had given me in the method that I was taught, this is the way I was teaching my siblings. And maybe even my mom had learned from her mom. And it all just goes down the line. It's a conditional tradition, and it's how it's formed. The same thing happens. Maybe someone grew up in an abusive household, and then when they grow up and have kids, that's how they know how to express themselves with their children, because that's how they were expressed as children. Does that make sense? I empathize with anybody that's in this position. I know I'm probably not the only person that is growing up without a father present in the house. Maybe you're the oldest as well, and you're taking care of your siblings, and you think the world is against you. You're trying to do everything you can, but it doesn't seem like it's enough. I understand. I feel you, for real. And I feel for you. If you fit in the same boat about not having a father figure in the house, this is one of the main points of failure in most people's life. Because they don't have some, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You don't have anyone to teach you any different, you know? If you don't have a father in your household, your mom can do the best that she can, but your mom's never known what it's like to have male hormones. Your mom's never known what it's like to have male properties, you know? So there's a piece of you, your mom can try to do everything that she can, and that's a blessing, you know, that she's trying to do that. And truly, don't take it for granted. But there are some things that she truly can't teach you, no matter how hard she tries. So, if I were to say there's something most important about your future, it's to have a male role model. Have somebody in your life that's going to have expectations for you. Because if you're going through this life the first time, which we all are, you're not going to know right from wrong. You're not going to know how to do things versus not how to do things. Because school can teach us only so much. But school's not going to teach us things that we need to do in the real world because it's expected that we have two parents that are responsible enough to show us how to do these things in the real world. Your parents that bring you into this world are supposed to, I feel like, show you how to navigate this vast plane of serene chaos, you know? Because if you go in blind, you don't know what to expect. But if you have parents who will help you understand the dangers, hazards, risks that can come in this world, they can prepare you to do better in this world, to fend for yourself, you know, when that time comes. But the problem is, there's a good, vast majority of the population that doesn't have that role model in their life. Find somebody that is doing something that you're also interested in so that you can ask them questions. You can follow their footsteps. So what I'd like to do is basically be that role model for you. I want to present you with a question. I want to present you with an idea or maybe a thought. Like I said, open up a piece of your brain that maybe you weren't using before to give you thoughts that maybe you've never had before. What I'd like to do is inspire you to maybe help you understand just because everyone else has done something a certain way and it's been a tradition for ages, it doesn't mean that it's the only way that something can be done. Does that make sense? You have the ability as a human being to choose the outlook of your life, to understand the outlook of your life and work towards that outlook if it's different than where you came from. Just because you were taught to do something one way doesn't mean you have to do it the same way for the rest of your life. You can implement your own imagination, your own ideas into that same thing to make it something better. You being you and being the unique, independent, extraordinary human, just you. None of us are exactly one-to-one the exact same. None of us. And we all have, just as our fingerprints, our mind is the more unique thing about any of us. So what I'd like to do, my main goal with this channel, is to help you understand the purpose in which you were placed on this beautiful planet. Because this planet is beautiful. If you just go and sit down, think for a second, the first step to finding more about yourself is to think about yourself. Everything, right? We're not perfect. We're going to have flaws. We're going to have strengths and weaknesses. But all these things make us who we are. All those things make you who you are. And if you don't like something about yourself, it's okay, you know? But it doesn't have to be that way forever. You have the ability to change it. You can be whoever you want to be, and it's all in here. Really. The mind is the greatest thing in the universe. If you think about it, there was a man, I don't remember his name, but there was a man that once said, the only thing about humans that make humans humans is our mind. Because everything else like this body, without the mind, we're no different than a pig or a horse or a cow or a sheep, anything. We're mammals. The only thing that makes us humans is that we have a mind. We have the ability to think, to imagine, to create anything that we can think of. And I want to show you that. I want to help you realize that, you know? Think about it. If you have the ability to think, you have the ability to imagine. If you can imagine something, you can create it, no matter what it is. Whatever dream you can imagine, you can have. Here's a principle my grandfather taught me. My grandfather was this role model that I had in my life. Luckily, I had my grandfather, because if not, I don't know where I would be. He told me, and I can hear his voice right now saying it, but staying busy is good for you because it keeps you out of trouble. The more that you are active towards your success, the more that you stay out of trouble because you're doing things that are good for you. And let me tell you something. Success, defined by Earl Nightingale, if you don't know him, I recommend that you look him up. His definition of success was the constant progression towards a worthy ideal. If you're constantly progressing towards something that you believe in, something that you believe you have a purpose in, something that you can imagine and put together yourself, you're successful. You can be the person that creates the flying car. You can be the person that writes a book that changes the world. You can be the person that picks up garbage. If that's your dream, that's your dream. Nobody can change that. It's your dream. Nobody can tell you what to dream. And whatever it is, it's special because it's special to you. So do it. Live your dream. Constantly progress towards your worthy ideal, and you'll be successful. And like I said, I don't come from much. The first place I lived was in the red brick buildings, otherwise known as the projects or Section 8 housing or subsidized living, you know? And here I am. Apparently, I've done something right. My life could have gone a completely other direction, but here I am trying to teach you how to be better in your life because I don't want other people to end up in that direction. You know what I mean? If I can make it where I am, if I can finally feel comfortable in life and not have to worry where the next meal is coming from, not have to worry if my siblings are going to wake up for school, not have to worry if they have everything that they need, you know? If I can be here in this place teaching you that you have a purpose because I understand that I have a purpose, when before I felt maybe just like you are. I felt like the world was against me. I felt like there's no way I'm going to win in this life. There's nothing out there for me. I never really knew how to eat mannerly or politely at a nice restaurant. I never knew that people actually ate at the table whenever they have dinner. I didn't know that some people have families that cook dinner every night and enjoy their meal together. And they talk about their day and they talk about the great things that happened to them or how school was going or how work was going, you know? I never really had that experience. I never knew that was a thing. I never knew to think before I speak or walk with confidence. But there's a point where you can realize that you do have the ability to change your life. You have the ability to be anybody you want to be. Anything that you want to do, it's possible. If you're having the thought to do something, the pure fact that you're having the thought makes it possible in your capability to do that thing. That just locks it in that you're capable of achieving whatever purpose that you think you have. Seriously, the more that you believe in yourself, the more that you tell yourself, I believe in myself, I believe in myself, the more that you start to believe in yourself. Another principle of life that I've learned is I started to realize every action has an equal and opposite reaction, whether it's positive or negative. You've heard the saying, what goes around comes around, right? It goes into this as well. If you share positivity, positivity comes back to you. If you spread negativity, negativity comes back to you. It works with your thoughts as well. Because if you think positive thoughts, you'll have positive actions, you know? If you think negative thoughts, like, oh, the world's against me, the world's going to be against you. It's a law of the universe, seriously. And I don't mean that in some crazy theoretical sense, but it's true. Laws don't falter or fade, and they will never change. For instance, the law of gravity. Isaac Newton knew from looking at an apple tree and the apple fell. The apple's falling. Humans are going to the ground. You know, gravity is pulling us towards the core of the earth. We're not floating. This USB, if I drop it, it's gonna fall. It doesn't just float up. It's a law. This law, like others, exists in this world. Truly. So share positivity. Spread positivity. Be positive. And last thing, don't ever don't ever let anyone get in between you and your ultimate goal in life. Your dream, your aspiration, whatever you're fighting for, whatever you think of time to time thinking, yeah, I should do that. I should do that. Do it. Just do it. Remember, success is the constant progression towards a worthy ideal. What's your worthy ideal? I hope this has been insightful, and I hope this has given some type of idea for you into what my vision is for this channel. I know that you can do better. I know that you can be better. I know that you have some type of great potential inside of you that you haven't unlocked yet. And maybe you have, and if you have, congratulations, keep going. Keep setting bigger, brighter, better goals, and you will achieve them as long as you constantly progress towards these worthy ideals. Thanks, guys. Again, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Much love.